Now receiving guests. Oh shit. Welcome in, welcome in. We are just getting started. We're going to see what we can't do. We're going to see what we can't do.
Welcome in, everybody.
What is up? What is up? Welcome in, welcome in.
Miss K says hello.
Who?
Fred. Miss K says hello.
Oh, what's up? What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing? I know we're late today. That's all good, dude. It's all good. Welcome in, welcome in. Oh Lord. Welcome in, welcome in. What's up, Becky? Welcome in. Thank you for all the shares. Thank you for the follows and the likes. We are just getting started. We are just getting started. Welcome in, welcome in. 757 likes. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the rose. See if I can't kind of pivot us, maybe. Maybe I might have to close that. Might have to close that window. Tiny Diny! Thank you for the Tiny Diny. We're just getting started. Holy poop.
Man, welcome in.
Oh my goodness. So we're doing reads today. You can get a dual read from me and Miss T's Wisdom. 369 right there is $25.25. We have Cash App and we have Venmo.
Welcome in,
So you can send it to either of us and that'll get you on the list. Welcome in, welcome in. I don't know if I want to put this down a little bit more. Maybe. I think it's just the window. I think I should probably close the window. If you commented something, it was filtered. We can't see it. Can't see it. Welcome in, welcome in. I'm slowly losing it over here. What shirt are you wearing?
I have it in a hoodie, but I needed it in a tank top too.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That's the best thing I've ever seen. That is if you guys didn't get a chance to peep that shirt, it says "Have the day you deserve" with a little grin with the peace sign. That's the best thing ever.
Have the day you deserve. deserve, with a smile on your face.
That's the facts, though.
I mean,
That's
don't
the
be offended
fact.
if you acting right? See, that's why I like it. Because, like, you ain't got no reason to be shitty if you acting right. If you're not acting right, then you're probably gonna be offended, and you need to go ask yourself why you're offended, right?
Well, dude, that's like when people say that they get mad when they hear karma's coming back around, or they get worried, and you're just like, but karma's just a return back. So what have you been putting out that you don't want to get back? Like, I think
But
it's
that's
funny.
the assignment. I mean, but that's the thing. Like, people, we talk about it all the time. But like, this is the 8 year. It is the year of the return of energy. So like, if you don't like the energy that you're sitting in, or you don't like the energy that's being returned to you, you need to kind of ask yourself why. Because that's the thing. Karma is not good or bad. And that's the thing. Like, I like to talk about that because like people just think like karma is vindication, it's revenge, it's this. No. It's literally just the law of cause and effect. You get back what you put out. Your actions are eventually met with the same energy, and if you don't like it, act differently.
Facts.
It's just that simple.
Facts.
It's not mean, it's not nasty, it's not nothing. It's literally like we all have the power to control how we speak, how we act, how we move in life, and you have nobody to blame for your own choices or words or anything else.
Facts.
And if you do, then you need to go balance your ego because your ego is slightly out of whack.
Well, and that's the thing, and I feel like as we get talking about ego, like you can't get rid of your ego. It's just keeping it in balance, you know.
It's a necessary part of you.
Well, especially when you're in the human vessel. When you're a human, boots on the ground, it is part of your humanity. Part of your humanity is your ego.
Yes. 1000% yes. And it's the
All
part
right,
of
guys.
you.
Well,
Sorry.
what?
I was gonna say it's the part of you that lets you experience in the vessel.
Exactly. All right, guys. Well, the list is open. We have Cash App. We have Venmo. If you would like a dual read from me and Miss Keys of Wisdom over here, everything is $25.25. Feel free to put in. The only thing we ask is that you come back and you let us know how you donated. So that way we can get you on the list. What's the giggles? Were you tossing collective already? Got me beat?
I was just shuffling.
All right, well, we are going to pop off with collective, but the list is open. It's $25.25 if you'd like to hear from both of us today.
Right off the bat, I got my wall card out. I got my magician sword card out, unmarked trail, and eye of the needle. And here we go. This is all about your obstacles or your perceived obstacles. And this, with the magician sword, the unmarked trail, and your eye of the needle, this is all about this precipice energy that everybody's feeling right now. This is because I said something about it last week. God, universe, spirit, creator is asking you to trust and take its hand. To let go of what is comfortable for you, even though your comfortable might be uncomfortable. So when I say that, it's like some people are so comfortable in the chaos. They're comfortable in the drama. They're comfortable in the unbalance of things that you're actually being asked to move out of whatever it is you have deemed comfortable. Whether it's and I'm going to say this, don't shoot the messenger, whether it's that victim mentality, the victim of circumstance in your life, whether it is like adversity, whether it is, your childhood trauma, whatever it is, you're being asked to step outside of that, to literally have confidence in who you are. That is this magician's sword. It's all about knowing how to wield your power. Your power and your currency is your energy. You're being asked to go on the unmarked trail. This is your path of revelations. This is your path less traveled. Because once those epiphanies, those ahas, that awareness, whatever you want to call it, the towers, they come in, they swerve you or move you to a whole new paradigm. If you're willing to be brave enough to what? Whoop, there it goes. Pass through the eye of the needle. And when you say this, this is literally, like, we can go biblical, but I'm going to try to not go there that hard. It's letting go of everything in the physical. Biblically, it was about they had to put their material possessions down to be able to pass through the narrow opening, right? So as you're jumping timelines, as you're shifting energetically, as you're creating a new reality, a new story, whatever label you want to give it, right? You are being asked to literally put down all of the things that you've been carrying thus far. Child of Balance always says it beautifully. You can't make room for the new that you claim you want while you're still holding on to everything else. So in order to pass through this precipice moment, to come out the other side, you have to first realize that your energy is your currency. It is not materialistic shit. You have to put down, I don't like the word, but you got to put down the 3D construct. You got to put down I got to prove myself. I got to this. You have got to make sure that your words and your actions are matching, that you are practicing what you preach. And then you realize that who you allow around you, what you allow yourself around. You realize your boundaries are only enforceable by you, period. You drop all of this outer shit that you've been carrying that wasn't yours to carry. You then pass through this precipice moment. You come out the other side. And you're asked to be the drifter. And I love this because drifting, going with flow, being in flow state. But this drifter card is all about experiencing life as it comes. It's all about the present moment. So when you pair that with the eye of the needle and the letting go of the 3D, what is the 3D? What are the constructs? That, you're on borrowed time, that things have to be this way, that we have to worry about the future, that we can't let go of the past, that we have to sit in this soup of shit all the time. You're asked to be the drifter. You're asked to literally let it go, to fully surrender. So many people have been trying to control their surrender, and this is your call. And when I say this, I was talking about it with Child of Balance earlier. If you have an awareness and you have been in the seat of the observer in your life, you are watching an energetic separation take place. You're watching it get bigger. You're watching it, and when I say bigger, more of you're over here trying to not participate in things you once did while observing that other people have, I'm gonna say, quintupled down in their shit. And the more they do it, the more it almost becomes projecty towards you, because you're anchoring in where you are. You're not ebbing and flowing anymore. You have taken you've made enough forward movement, not in place movement, forward movement. You're not running in place. You've made enough movement that you're not allowing yourself to get sucked back in. But at some point, you're going to have to realize that your energy and your reality sometimes don't match. That might be people, that might be jobs, that might be spaces, places, things. And that's what you have to let go of in order to be that drifter, in order to pass through that precipice into the life that you're trying to create.
I don't know who needs to hear it, but you need to stand in your truth right now because it is being challenged. That's the number one thing that keeps coming out on my table as Keys was talking, was the fact that you need to stand in your truth, because everybody around you is going to start challenging your truth, challenging what you know to be true. And they're just talking about how you don't need to defend your truth defends itself. And there's almost just the idea of there was something that you never thought that would happen. It's I'm getting it when pigs fly kind of a feeling here. It makes me feel like this was a truth that you knew to be true because it happened to you, but you just didn't think maybe you would get recognition for it, or you didn't think that it would come front and center again. But I want to tell you, it's back. You tried to push it away and it didn't go away. And now people are bringing the need for you to stand in your truth even more right to your front door. As Keith says, they're acting ridiculous as they're doubling down, tripling down. There's a part of this mental battle that you have. And me and Keys were talking about this earlier this morning, but everyone talks about wanting to live without regrets, wanting to live with no regrets. The biggest way and the easiest way to live with no regrets is to act on what you feel is called in the moment, to act on what you wish you could do, what you want to do, and not to think about it so much. And there's a lot of energy here that is like this back and forth of the mind, of kind of sitting here in like almost mental turmoil, attempting to find non-physical strength is the way that I want to say it, non-physical strength. And they're just talking about how you can alleviate yourself from that game, that heavy mindset, that pressure that you put yourself under by standing in your truth. Your truth does not need to be defended. And I don't know what that was that just came out of my house. But your truth does not need to be defended. It defends itself. And you're going to be offered up a moment, is what's coming out here right now. You're going to be offered up a moment to stand in your truth, to stand in your strength. And by doing so, you complete a cycle. By doing so, you balance out your inner energies and you complete a cycle. And it turns you from the holder of truth in a balanced masculine feminine, from the holder of truth and clarity into the deliverer of truth and clarity. So you will be offered up a time to speak your truth, and you will know when the time comes. And they're asking you to clear the throat chakra. They're asking you to not be afraid to speak what you need to speak, to say what you need to say. So just be on the lookout, because there's going to be an increased ripple effect of, I want to say, deception and almost like contorting. I'm getting the word contorting of words or actions by others. And they're just reminding you to stay. I keep hearing the word vigilant, to stay vigilant for when it's ready, for when time is ready for you to stand on your truth. So I don't know who needs to know that, but that's going to be important at some point coming up through the end of this week. What's up, guys?
Welcome in, welcome in.
He's with the finger guns.
I keep having this card fall out of my deck, so somebody needs to hear this. It's the Falling Angel card, but it's the Spiritual Narcolepsy card. And I just keep hearing that you're sleeping on yourself. Like, and when I say that, you're kind of not being true to yourself. You're watering yourself down. And I don't want to necessarily say you have abilities. That's not the way I want to say this. You know what you are capable of doing. You know the intuitive powers you currently have. This isn't like a new discovery. What I want to say is you're sleeping on yourself and the mark you're trying to make on this world. And when I say that, like, not only did that card keep falling out, but this Perfect Storm card keeps coming out, which is all about having the power to step into your life. The power and the courage to step into your life. So when I say this, like somebody is just sleeping on themselves. Like, you are, like, I want to say, like, I can almost feel this energy, like, in your heart space where you're, like, bursting to let yourself out because you have boxed yourself in for so long, or you've operated in a capacity to not ruffle the feathers of others. And I want to tell you that if you are worried about ruffling the feathers of others, you are not in the right flock, is literally how I want to say that.
Well, you're living for others and not for yourself, too.
Exactly. And that's why I said it's time for you to stop sleeping on yourself. You have had enough epiphanies, awakenings, enough clarity given to you. You have the awareness to take the action you need to take in your life, and you are sleeping on yourself. Nobody else. No, when I say this, no more divine. It's not going to get any more divine intervention than what you've already been given. Now you need to take action, because the only person sleeping on you is you. God, Spirit, Creator has had your back this entire time. And now it's your move. Sorry, I just had to say that because that card wouldn't stop popping out.
Thank you for the follow. Thank you. The list is open, guys. We're doing reads today. We got Cash App, we got Venmo. So if you would like a dual read and you would like to hear from me and Miss Keys of Wisdom, we can do it. We got Cash App, we have Venmo. You can send it to either myself or Miss Keys. It does not matter. We divide it all up on the back end. The only thing we ask is that you come back in and you let us know that you donated.
Surrender can be totally difficult, but it almost goes back to the law of detachment. And when we talk about the law of detachment, it's literally talking about like what is in your circle or your field of control and what is not. It gets back to like, I was just talking about this morning with several people, but ChildOfBalance, my sister, boundaries. Like, I can't talk enough about this. Your boundaries have to be something that you can enforce. If you can't enforce them, then it's not a boundary, it's a request. It's that simple. It is a request. So when people find themselves struggling to surrender, more often than not, they're frustrated. They're like, I'm trying to set these boundaries in my life and I'm trying to do this. And like, it just feels like nothing is working and I'm getting all of this pushback. The universe is literally showing you who is for you, who is not, who respects you, who doesn't. And the thing is, it's not the way you expected things to come in. And I'm not singling you out. I'm just saying, like, in general, like, collectively. It's often, it hits us in a way that is meant to facilitate such growth and such change in our lives. But it hurts like hell. And that's what we're surrendering to. We're literally surrendering to that pain that then turns into our power, which is the catalyst for us to grow and move forward and cycles and, on, you know what I mean, on to the next. But yes, I get it. Total surrender can be so difficult. But yes, it is absolutely possible. And a lot of that is just realizing what we can and can't control.
So,
and staying in that present moment.
so Kalilia, you have, I guess I gotta ask Spirit if I'm weaponizing my incompetence. And then you go, quote, but what do I do? Maybe I already know. I can tell you, you definitely already know what to do. The problem is sometimes for a lot of people, when it comes to weaponizing incompetence, you really have to ask yourself the tough question. What am I receiving when I weaponize incompetence that I enjoy? What is it? Is it attention by the other person? What? Is
Did
it
she say she
attention?
was
But
weaponizing her incompetence?
yeah, but I don't think that
Why are
that's
you calling
really
yourself incompetent, first of all? Let's go back to
well.
that first. Why are we
Well,
calling
but no,
ourselves
she's talking
incompetent?
about like how she's saying that she doesn't understand how to do things or know how to do things. So she's like, well, maybe I don't know. Like, how do I do this? What do I do? And it's that, but it's also a lot of times it's layered though. Like, I don't get you as being the person who's like, I don't know how to do it. Big strong man, help me. Like, I don't get you as that person, nor in your energy or in any of the conversations that we've had or any of the reads that you have purchased from me or keys that I can recall, that type of an energy coming through. So I think you might be misusing the weaponizing of incompetence. But a lot of times we have to ask ourselves, what are we getting when we think, that we're like, oh, I'm weaponizing my incompetence, I don't know how to do it. Is somebody doing it for you? Are you being lazy? You know what I mean? Is it just that you're someone who processes out loud, and that back and forth is what you're asking to initiate with somebody when you say, oh, I don't understand this, can you help me? Like, that's different than weaponizing incompetence. Weaponizing incompetence is like someone's like, pick up that chair, and you're like, but how do I do it? I don't know how to do it. And then they walk over and they pick up the chair for you. Like, that is like completely different. I'm real bad at putting pieces together. I'm staying in a comfortable place even when I'm miserable. See, but that's the difference. Like, you have self-awareness, so you're not incompetent. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have self-awareness. The question that they keep taking me back is to, what do you gain by pretending you don't know the answer? Do you gain somebody holding your hand and doing it with you? Because maybe there's actually some fear there of doing it by yourself, right? Like, you know what you want, but you're kind of like a little gun shy. You don't want to pull the trigger. Like, or is there something else that, are you a processor out loud? Like, I'm a processor out loud a lot of times. Me and Keith process some of the best shit when we chit chat with each other. Like, we don't even realize we're doing it, and then also we're like, oh my God. Like, so sometimes you could be using that as like a placeholder to initiate with somebody a back and forth that better understand something, but it depends. You got to ask yourself, what do you gain when you think that you are weaponizing? Like, because weaponizing means there's like an outcome, like you're gaining something from using it as like a weapon. You know what I'm saying? I know that's kind of weird, but I don't get you as an incompetent person. I get you as a very
No.
self-aware person, so much so that to where you intellectualize your feelings and you intellectualize your reality and your life, your experience, your soul's experience to where you get disconnected from it. And sometimes the disconnect is a large part of probably what you're searching for, because you took the feeling out of it. You know what I mean? You took the feeling out of your reality. It's an excuse to stay stagnant because I'm really scared. Well, see, but there you go. Like you have, but that's the difference, dude. Like you got a fear going on there, right?
Yes.
But you're
So
just
you
not
know you
willing to
got to
look
face
at
the
it.
fear. But that's the thing. You
Like,
have the
yeah.
awareness, and now you know it's rooted in fear. And the only way we're going to get rid of the fear is when we face the fear. And nobody can make you face your fear. And that's the thing. That's no rush, but that's how we no longer have a fear. More often than not, the universe will force our hand to face a fear, and then we gain a little bit piece of ourself and our power back because we realized we're still standing. We can still do it. It didn't wipe us out. Did we stumble maybe? Did we fall to our knees once or twice? Absolutely. We all have. But you got back up again. So that's the thing. If you know it's rooted in fear and it's something you're going to have to face, you just have to figure out for you what it is within that fear that has such a grip on you to keep you from making the move you know you need to make. You've already demonstrated enough that you have the awareness, you know what it's rooted in. Now you just have to take action. That's it. That's the missing piece, is the action part. That's it.
Well, dude, and like 9 times out of 10, fear is irrational.
Yes.
9 times out of 10, your fear you have amplified, you have made worse, you have blown it way out of proportion, you've made it larger than it needs to be, you've given it more space than it should hold, and you make the problem worse. And then when the problem actually hits your door, you're like, oh, well, that wasn't that bad. Then I feel kind of silly, right? Like, it's one of those things, like, so a lot of times when people fear something, especially for you because you are an intellectualizer, and you are a self-aware person, you could go through and ask yourself what really is at the core of my fear and what really do I fear. But at some point, you have to put action behind that, because what a lot of times, what I feel like you specifically, like, there's all this understanding under the weight of our head, our mind, our brain. There's very little understanding sometimes. And the understanding is when we pair it with our feelings. It's when our soul understands. It's when words aren't needed. It's when large analytical processes aren't necessarily required. Like it's what your light body does, what your soul does when it grasps a concept, a thing, a feeling, right? Like, and if you're trying to change your reality, your life from being mind driven to being soul driven, you have to realize that sometimes you don't need to overthink things. You just need to go do it.
Correct.
So if you're afraid to call that person, maybe you just need to call them, even if they don't answer. Like, oh well, you did the scary thing already. It's over with. Like, you know what I mean? It's something so simple. Like I used to have a teacher in high school, and they would tell you that, like, when we'd go and do things on stage, whether it be graduation or whatever, like choir or whatever we were doing, like, he would say, whatever your biggest fear is, like, go ahead and do it. So that way, when you're on stage, you're not going to be worried about when it happens. So, like, 9 times out of 10, people were afraid of them tripping up the stairs on the stage or walking across it. And he's like, so then purposely go do it. He goes, because then it's already over with. And now we're on to something else. So, like, sometimes it's one of those things that we make it worse when we keep it on the inside, that energy, and we swirl it around and we swirl it around, and it makes it totally bigger than what we really need to do, you know? And then a lot of times people have regrets over what they don't do, because when you talk about what stops people from doing things, usually it's the fear of something, the fear of how other people will react, the fear of how I will be viewed or judged. And those are all assumptions. Those are all assumptions based on your assumption of somebody else's perspective that you assume they have of you. That's like 3 assumptions of a perspective when it's really just how you feel about yourself. So if it's like if it's one of those things like, well, I don't know how I'm going to do this, you've made it through every aspect of your life right now because you're here. The fear is probably irrational that you won't continue on even if you stumble just a second, you know. Totally make it bigger. When you told me I was already living in my fear, the healing started. But exactly, 90% of the people, man, like this is just my belief, you know, from experience and whatever. Like 90% of the people manifest their greatest fear into their physical reality because that's the only way that you can get over it, right?
Yep.
A lot of times people try to ignore their fear. What's up, Rooted? People try to ignore their fear. They try to get past it, try to move on. They try to pretend it doesn't live there, or they're so blinded by it that they focus all their intention and all their energy to it, thus creating it in the reality for them to face in the physical, to realize, to get their brain over the fact that it wasn't that big of a deal.
Well, and the
So
thing
it's
is,
like when you
faith and fear require us to believe in the same thing, which is something we can't see. So you can either use that power to manifest fear, or you can use that to have blind faith in your life. Because both require you to believe in what you cannot see.
Yep. So the list is open, guys. We're doing dual reads today for 2525. We have Cash App, we have Venmo. If you would like a dual read, if you would like something felt into, just let us know that you donated so we can get you on the list. Oh man, I'm mad I missed the beginning of this. I know I needed it. Well, it'll be good. It's all good. It's probably something you've heard before. Probably something you've heard before.
We'll sum it up. It's time to take action in your life. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the assignment. We're done overthinking things. It's time to take action.
It's time to start living with no regrets, and you need to decide
Live your
for
truth
you as an individual what it takes for you to live with no regrets. And a lot of time that's acting on what you feel and not denying that part of yourself. So you have to ask yourself, where am I having no action where I should have action? Because a lot of times the no regrets is regrets of things not done. How many people truly have a regret of doing something? Not many. And usually the regret is, well, it didn't work out the way I expected. Lose the expectation and the regret goes away.
Correct. 1000%.
We got I'm gonna check spaces, but we have Nikki on the list.
Okay.
It's okay, Miss Donna. You are more than welcome to not agree. That's perfectly fine. Like I said, just where we sit over here. I'm gonna check spaces. I'll be right back. All right, Nick, I got you, dude. Do you have a question or something you would like felt into? Well, have a good work day. Nick says, I feel like I'm making good progress. Just a general check-in. All right.
Right off the bat, I want to say that you've been in the process of peeling back all the layers of masks that you've been wearing for so long. And I want to say, again, just right off the bat, before I throw any other cards, because this card just keeps falling out. This feels like, I want to say, like you're literally detaching and unadopting the things that you've carried with you since childhood. And I want to say that these are things that have caused you a lot of conflict in your life, but the more layers you peel back, the more balance you're achieving. And when I say that, I feel like you're somebody, I recognize this energy because I recognize it in myself. You're somebody who it's like, when you hit the ground running, like, patience is not your strong suit, is what I want to say. Patience is not your strong suit, but this has literally been a season of testing your patience, because it's literally been about peeling back that mask that you're not in comparison with other people, and that you're not on borrowed time, and the clock is not ticking out, and that right now it's almost like I want to say that you've almost been, I almost want to say you've been in, like, I don't say like full blown, where you're allowing your energy to go, the direction you allow your energy to go. And when I say that, a lot of this is because you used to not be okay with sitting with yourself, and that's part of where you're at in your journey, in your transformation, is you're coming out as this Queen of Cups bridge for me here, where it's like you're nurturing yourself the way you have always nurtured other people, but that took you almost like to a space where you had to disconnect from so many people around you, because you got so caught up in the pouring into everybody else, you weren't pouring into yourself. So right now, like, again, back to this mask card, it really feels like your feminine energy in you is stepping forward. This is your intuition. This is I want to say the daydreamer in you. And I don't know why I want to say that. I don't normally, but the daydreamer in you. It's like you're not afraid to think bigger, because what was once dreams for you, I'm getting that essence of, like, when you would verbalize your dreams out loud, like, people would almost like stomp and crush on your dreams, that like you always used to take the safe route, or play things smaller. You would almost like keep your ideas to yourself, and now you're in that you're moving into that daydreamer state where you're talking about things out loud again. You're also coming out as the Queen of Swords here as a bridge. This is also you really sitting in this place of where you're not denying your truth, is what I want to say. You're learning how to communicate, is what I want to say. Because communications has been a very difficult space for you. Whether it was being heard, or not just being heard, but I mean, like, actually people like actively listening. Even as an adult, like, conversations were very one-sided. Like, you would find yourself in conversations with people where they were just ready to react, and they weren't actually listening to the things that were coming out of your mouth. They weren't picking up your nonverbal cues. But now you sit here poised as this Queen of Swords, where, like I said, you don't defend your truth. You know your truth defends itself. You're moving out of this place of being like overly critical. Like, when I say like overly critical, like, you're silencing your own fuck shit voice. You're trying to be very, I want to say, very objective in your life, and the way that you view the world, or the way that you view those that you interact with. Like, it's almost like overcoming that sense of, I'm not really angry anymore. Just when I get to a space, I'm done. You're working really hard at not reacting. And I want to say, like, you're recognizing your own strengths, your own triumphs, your own victories, and you're not outwardly looking for praise from anybody else anymore. And this was big for you, because we had the devil out as a bridge. It took a lot to move out of this headspace, this really heavy, chaotic headspace.
I want to tell you, you're doing multiple things at once, is the way that I want to say it. And I feel like, as busy as you are, they want to remind you to rest. Just bridging off of what Keys is talking about, when you are redefining yourself, and I want to say reintroducing yourself, and kind of standing in your power, standing in your strength a little bit, that unapologetically you kind of a thing. There's a little bit of questioning going on. There's a little bit of like, is this it? Is this what's supposed to feel like? and they're asking you to lose the comparison game between yourself and what you perceive everybody else to be doing, or what you perceive it's supposed to be like, is the way that I want to say it. It's supposed to be like. Um, Part of your freedom and your new beginning is learning who you are this time around. And they're asking you to kind of find a inner balance with your outer balance right now, and have a little bit more patience. A little bit more patience, because the journey is the point, not the goal. I do have my Fool out here, and there really is sitting as a bridge, and it's kind of leading me to the fact of like you embarking on your next chapter, is the way that I want to say it. I do have my Queen of Wands out here as a bridge as well, and I really do feel like, paired with my cups here, I feel like this is a bridging of your emotional state with your mental mind that used to be in a little bit of chaos, but really bridging over into the passion that you are. Because there is a part of this healing that you're doing, whether you realize you're actively doing healing or not. There's part of this healing that you're doing that is setting your passions free, that is setting your energy free with a little bit less structure, is the way that I want to say it, but in a good way. um in a good way. And as we're talking about healing, they literally give you the Six of Swords card. You're on the I want to tell you you're still in transition. I don't want to tell you that you're out of the woods yet, so to speak. Because I do feel like you're being tested right now on sitting in what you believe in, what you're called for, where your energy lies, is the way that I want to say this. Have you been questioning yourself lately? I don't know why, but I feel like we're pivoting. Have you been questioning yourself, and maybe not like with what you're doing, maybe like is this really it, or am I missing something? Because I really am getting a lot of like mental noise, is the way that I want to say it, a lot of mental noise of being kind of sitting in wishy-washy energy a little bit, because this is new, and at times you find yourself like, "Ugh." At times you find yourself kind of like questioning some things, is the way that I want to say it. And I feel like that's why I just got my Devil's card out here and my Two of Pentacles in reverse, because the more you sit and question something um, with your rationale, the more you sit and mull it over. They're talking about the further out of balance you bring your emotions off the scale, is the way that I want to say it, because there's a little bit of they just keep kind of pulling me back to the comparison game, or maybe how others view you. So I really do am getting pulled to like the opinion of others, kind of a pull here, and it's something that I really feel like you kind of struggle with at times. And I'm not sure if it's like people of authority. I don't necessarily know if it's peers, but it is definitely coming out on the table as people of authority, people who you may view as wiser or older, or holding more of a position than you currently hold. Um, I don't know what you deem a blissful, happy life, what you deem a emotionally fulfilled life, but you're on your way to it, is the way that I want to say it, because they're talking about kind of like unfreeing yourself, unfreeing, kind of unbinding and freeing yourself from the constructs of other people's expectations of you, because I feel like right now that is a huge battle that you still currently go through, and I want to say you're going through with grace, because I feel like on the outside people might not see it. People might not see it, but I feel like it's a really big internal battle for you. So when we start talking about the war within self, I really do feel like this is your shadow and your light body kind of duking it out here. And I got this Temperance card, and I just want to show it to you. Yeah, I'm gonna flip it right side up, but it was upside down on my table. Now this this being, is the way I'm gonna say it, literally has wings somewhere over here, and that's the essence of who this energy is, right? But then we look at the dark and the light, and the opposing forces and the opposite of both of them, and it just feels like This is kind of that tug of war that you have within self. And I got quite a few masculine energies out on my table right now, so I don't know if you have a little bit of a depressive, oppressive, masculine energy that is in your space at times, that may not be lending to the most supportive, may not be lending to the most supportive status of yourself, is the way that I want to say it. And I want to tell you, like, you're starting to get to the point where you're releasing the need to care. If you make somebody unhappy, that's the way I feel like you're getting to that point. I don't necessarily know that you're all the way there yet. I feel like you're on the process to getting to the point where you're like, it doesn't bother me that they think this. It doesn't bother me that this is happening. There's a lot of mental anguish that I want to say you're putting to bed. We got another masculine out on this table. Good Lord. It just seems like you've been kind of battling. You've been battling quite a few things. And if you feel like you're kind of at this war within self, I just feel like you have this, I don't want to say keeping tabs on you, but this masculine energy is giving me kind of like a weird vibe. It just seems like it doesn't come as the most honest. Doesn't seem like it comes the most truthful either. And I want to say the perspective of the masculine just seems a little bit skewed, is the way that I want to say it. It's really interesting, but they're just kind of having you out here as kind of in the struggle to balance, and not like struggle as in like not being able to, but it's more of that up and like that ebb and flow, that up and down that happens before you reach like perfect balance, like that moment of perfect balance. They just keep lending to the almost anguish that happens on the inside of you, whether it's realized on the outside or not. Let me see what you wrote. I know I lost.
I got the Ten of Wands, which is your burdens card. And then I've got the Ten of Swords in reverse. And, you know, I just keep hearing it's this culmination point for you where you got to put down that overburden of the need to carry emotional baggage that isn't yours anymore. And the thing is, because you are actively working on all these pieces and parts, there's that kind of tug of war going on within you, like ChildOfBalance was saying, where like you're trying to learn from your past, but then you find yourself kind of slipping backwards where you're like, oh my God, but you know, I don't know why I feel this way. It's probably not yours. And when I say that, it's like, this is that culmination point where like, as soon as you put that emotional burden down, you're almost going to kick off your own tower, but it's not actually a tower moment. It's your power moment is what I want to call it. Almost like, I don't want to call it, it's not upheaval in like a bad way. It's just more of like a sudden change. It's like you'll just wake up one day and you're like, I'm done fighting with myself. This isn't my shit to deal with. And I can just move forward. It's giving me back to our, kind of that collective message. Living with no regrets. This need to carry the emotional burden while silencing all of that in your head. It's like, you know better, and like you're trying to do better while still having one foot kind of stuck in past patterns. And they're just asking you to kind of like, this is your moment. This is your forward movement. Bravely step forward. It's okay that it's uncomfortable. It's okay that you don't know what's next. Just choose to learn from the past and keep going forward. Don't stay stuck.
So she says, I've had a lot of influence from people who don't believe in me, so I struggle in believing in myself. I'm working on releasing that. I do have a masculine lurking in my peripheral, or two, LOL. Yeah, I'm slowly stepping away from these masks. They affect my energy a ton. Oh my God, power moment. I love that. Yeah, like,
But see, that's the thing. Tower moments get such a bad rap because, like, truthfully, they are those power moments in our life. They are the culmination of the energy of all the hard work we've been doing, of Spirit God, the universe being like, we're going to throw all the tests at you at once because we are so proud of you. You're going to break out this cycle. Like, now's your time to, like, put your money where your mouth is. Like, it's the culmination of all of that. It is a power moment because it will change the trajectory of your life once you go through it. Once you stop trying to control the tower, you walk through that fire. It's your rebirth. It is your new path, your new beginning. It is all the things that you want. You just have to be able to go through the unknown because that's what sets you free.
well, but that's the thing. It's like tower moments are just that little bit of like the step before your glow up. So if you're after your glow up, you should be welcoming every tower. I'm not saying create towers for yourself. No, don't do that. But like just welcome it because before you gave it a label and a connotation, you went through hundreds of them in your lifetime.
Correct.
Bro, I'm fueled by tower moments. That's how I make leaps. And for a lot of people it is, you know what I mean? But just make sure that you're not building the tower up to be something larger than you.
Correct.
Because the tower is your energy, the tower is your realizations, the tower is your growth, the tower is you.
Correct.
You know, even if it's awareness. So just make sure you're not putting the tower moments on a pedestal because make no mistake, you're the one taking the leap. And that's how you turn that power into a you power. That's how you flip it around and you make sure, like, you know what I mean? You make sure that you're still in the center and you're not downplaying yourself. You're not being rocked by a tower. You're being elevated by towers, you know? No, we don't seek them out, but we do embrace them. Yeah. So, Nick, do you need anything clarified, dude? No, that was great. All right. Well, as long as you're good, Nick, dude, then we appreciate you. We
Thank
appreciate
you
your
so much.
energy, the time, the space that you took to sit here and do this with us. We appreciate you. So thank you very, very much. Good Lord. What's today? Tuesday?
Yep.
I gotta remember what day it is. That's where we're at.
Hey, Miss Tanya, how are you? Hope you're doing fantastic.
All right, guys, we're gonna do last call. If you guys would
Yes.
like to get on the list is 2525. We have Cash App, we have Venmo. If you would
Why
like
did
to
I
hear
type
from
in
me and Miss
Cash
Keys
App?
of Wisdom, that's what
Thank
it
you for
takes.
asking.
Just come back in, let us know that you donated so that way we don't miss you.
I always love when people say they're great. As long as they mean it.
I used to say
I hope you do
fine.
too.
I say I'm fine. Fine's not good. Good's not great. So you guys have 9 days left to use the coupon code Dueling
Yes.
My Shadow 50. So if you have not gotten in on that deal, go ahead and get in on it now. You only have 9 days left. It is 50% off a dual shadow workspace. It makes it $10 cheaper than a normal shadow workspace, and you get an extra 30 minutes. So if you've been debating shadow workspace with us, if you've been wanting to try it, but for whatever reason you haven't yet, this is the best time to take advantage of all of that. And we're just doing it to give you guys a whole month where you can dip your toe in, face your fear, and have virtually nothing, you know what I mean? Nothing as like a drawback in that space. So it's Dueling My Shadow 50. You can enter it in at checkout on our website and you'll get 50% off that service. So feel free to go use it before it is no longer available to you guys to use. Welcome in, welcome in. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the roses. We are also starting podcasts come Friday. We will be on Spotify doing podcasts at least once a week. Every single Friday, you will see them released. So feel free to be on the lookout for that. Yes, I will eventually be adding the Spotify link to the link trees. We're just not going to do it before the first one's up because we don't want people to go there and see nothing and then be like, oh, and turn around. So on Friday, you will see the link added. The podcast will be uploaded and all will be well. Welcome in, welcome in. So if you guys are not a member of the website, go ahead and join. It is 100% free. It doesn't cost you anything. We don't spam your shit. We have a free tree of knowledge there that we post to 3 times a week. So you can get all of the good info for 100% free. We also have a point system as you interact with the website, as you purchase services or something from the handmade shop. You have the ability, or are a subscriber to either of our pages, you have the ability to gain points, and points equals money off of services. Once you get to, I think the lowest is 200 points. So feel free to join over there. It is the easiest way to stay in the know of what is going on, what's getting posted, and you also can save money. We're also on Instagram, so go ahead and check us out. And we're also on YouTube. Everything is in the link tree in the bio. You don't have to remember anything. But if nobody else needs us and everybody is good, then we're going to pop off here. And I will probably see you. I have a client later tonight, so I might not see you tonight. And if I don't, I will see you tomorrow afternoon for sure. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for the time, space, energy, and we will see you guys later.
Bye. Have a great day, you guys.